I said good day, sir.
You don't ever plan anything around the Eagles because the Eagles represent the grace of God, you heathen bastards.
What a vanilla nebbish name.
Well, you know, orcs are people too.
I'm thinking of that one cult that got taken out with one punch. So he's got a wall, a gall, and a wall. Every time you mention the Eagles, I think Don Henley. This is a Geek History of Time,
where we connect nerdery to the real world. I'm Ed Blaylock, a world history teacher in Northern California. Who the heck are you?
I'm Damian Harmony. I'm a Latin teacher and a world history teacher, also in Northern California. And I came here to learn more about Battlestar Galactica.
Well, you know, it's good that you did, because that's what I'm talking about today.
Wonderful.
That happens to be what my notes are all about.
Serendipity, baby.
Yeah, what a coincidence.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's almost like we planned it.
Yeah.
So at the end of our last episode, we left off where, you know, we had spoken about, or we'd been discussing, you know, what was going on in the Zeitgeist, what as you said a couple of times, what the bedrock was, out of which both the original series in the late 70s and the new series in the 2000s was coming out of. And one of the things that's notable about the reboot is, you know, as I said, the original series was escapist,
right?
Sci-fi. We're going to capitalize on Star Wars fiction. You know, everybody wants to see ray guns and spaceships. We're going to give them ray guns and spaceships. You know, but the paradigm that all of that was then kind of glued onto was a Western, right? Because that's what writers knew. You know, the tropes were taken out of Westerns. You know, every other episode had somebody walking into a tavern on an alien planet that somehow was full of humans, even though the colonists were supposed to be the last remaining humans in that part of the, like, there was a gleeful lack of consistency to how the universe was constructed.
Humans in sci-fi are similar to two things: rats,
yes,
or that last drop of pee after you've shaken. You're going to get another drop. It's going to end up in your pants no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what.
No matter what.
Yeah. You might want to talk to your urologist. I'm just saying, if that's a consistent issue for you, you maybe want to get something checked. But, you know, and so the original series was written to be and was treated as fluff, you know.
Okay.
It was safe for kids to watch. It was, you know, family television, you know. The new series was decidedly not kid-friendly.
Right.
For a whole host of reasons.
Yes.
There's the sex. There's the graphic violence. You know, I can't tell you how many times you witness somebody getting shot in the head, and like
that scene wrecked me.
Yeah, and they didn't. And the thing is, they did not shy away. Like so many shows, like all these police procedurals and everything that you watch, somebody gets shot. And the gunshot wound is, you know, you almost, it looks like their shirt hasn't even broken. You know, you see a spot of blood.
Yes.
But, like, no, BSG was like, no. When you get shot anywhere, like,
blood explodes.
There's spatter. Like, everybody gets messed up. And they made a point of that because part of the underlying ethos of the show was no, this is a war, and we're not going to make any of this, we're not going to sanitize any of this. Our audience is going to be grown-ups because, as you pointed out, we're now in a cable environment with umpteen hundred channels.
Exactly.
So anybody tunes into the Sci-Fi Channel to watch this show, they're going to be an adult. They may or may not be nostalgic about the original series, but if they're nostalgic about the original series, they're going to be 30.
Right.
You know, or older.
Or older.
You know, or maybe
Producer
not,
George.
Maybe not quite. Yeah. Usually you throw the old jokes at me. I'm sorry, dude.
Now you're the middle child.
I don't know. Well, anyway, we can have the discussion another time. But you know, and so they're writing it under the assumption that, you know, you, the viewer, are an adult. You can handle this stuff.
You signed on for this.
You're kind of looking for this.
Yep.
you want something that is going to be impactful and wreck you on occasion.
Yes.
Or, if you're talking about like season 3, like every week, but this is what you're looking for. We're going to give you
real quick. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want,
sorry.
just in case we
I didn't give any details.
I know.
Yeah,
but just in case we do mention
anything
going forward,
we're going to. So if you have not watched the reboot of Battlestar Galactica,
which is I think now 15 years old.
God damn it! Yes.
So spoiler alert.
Yeah.
On something 15 years old.
Yeah. Well, but
that might be off.
I haven't watched the whole thing.
If you haven't,
you're about to find out.
Wow. All right. First off, you need to go. Find it
in the thing.
Yeah, no.
They meet in the thing?
Yeah.
Where they all get called?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you're Jimi Hendrix then.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, spoiler alert.
I told you. What was weird is when they started playing the Fleetwood Mac. That was the weird part to me.
That was really bizarre, yeah.
So, especially since it was all Cylons doing it.
Yeah.
With the robot and roving eye. Yeah.
Nice. That hurt.
As you were saying, Ed.
Yeah, as I was saying. Thank you, Producer George. So the new series started in 2003 as a miniseries.
We should really time mark when I did that.
That's
going to be a great bumper.
Is it though?
Yes.
Okay.
About 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Yeah, 5-minute mark.
Approximately.
Yeah, roughly. Because that was very rough. So, Battlestar, the new series, originally aired as a miniseries in 2003.
Right.
And that was when it picked up, all the buzz. Mm-hmm. I remember all of my nerd friends, which is to say all of my friends. Mm-hmm. Because I'm a pathetic dork.
No, you're a dork.
Okay, all right.
There's nothing pathetic about it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
I have a very specific bubble.
Yes.
Is what I'm trying to say with that. And everybody was hyper psyched.
Sure.
Because the Galactica, the physical artifact of the ship itself was, from the exterior, it was instantly recognizable as being a reimagining of the original. It was kind of more modern looking.
Right.
It looked a little bit more like a real spaceship might.
Yes.
But the profile was exactly the same.
Okay.
Like the shape, the front end coming to that blunt nose with the two catamaran kind of sponsons where the Vipers launched.
To me, it always it always looked like the MC-80. The Mon Calamari cruisers.
Oh, okay. Well,
it always had that kind of aesthetic to it.
Well, but without being so organic looking, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it got picked up as a series in 2004. The first season had 13 episodes. Continued for a total of 4 seasons. Total of 76 episodes. And and I've already gone over some of this stuff. But the overall tone, as we've already said, was darker and there was a lot more conflict between the main characters.
Yes.
But
also a lot more, the other one had essentially the same plot. But this one, people really felt like they were about to die and that they were exhausted by the trauma of it. Yeah, you didn't see that in the first one.
No. Well, because it was fluff, family entertainment.
Yes,
it was
network.
It was network, and this just occurred to me. It was a wagon train drama in space. Well, if you had gone across the Oregon Trail on a wagon train and been attacked by Native Americans,
I died of dysentery before I got there.
Well, okay, but anybody
who think this is a game?
Well, yeah, it literally was.
Oh, okay.
We all played it in the 4th grade. But I'm talking about, historically speaking.
So Producer George was in college when you were playing it?
Well, actually, on my very first computer, that's how far back the Oregon Trail dates.
Wow, that's
81.
Yeah, that's right around the time people started arriving in Oregon.
Wow.
Man.
Wow.
Oh, would you like your knife back? From my back?
I believe this is yours, sir.
Yes.
So, but the original series
yes.
had that as its archetype.
Right.
And so any depiction in Westerns, you never saw anybody dealing with like continuing trauma from having survived.
You're right. Even if they're kidnapped.
Even if they're kidnapped and threatened with scalping or God knows what horrible, racist trope, got used in that episode for drama.
Right.
The next week, well, I got rescued, so everything's okay. Or, whatever. And the idea that there would be continuing trauma, that there would be exhaustion, that there would be... it's family entertainment. It's escapist entertainment.
Yep.
And so that just TV didn't do that.
Right.
In the 70s, unless it was like a movie of the week and they were trying to make a capital B, big capital P point about something.
Right.
And so...
Again, I want to go back to what we talked about in the last part of the last episode, was that the bedrock upon which all this lay was, for the new one, was police procedurals where you had people who were traumatized and battered down emotionally on some levels.
World weary.
Yeah, very. You had Sipowicz.
Oh, yeah.
You had,
you had Sipowicz, you had any one of any number of detectives from Law and Order.
Yes.
It wasn't much. I'm trying to remember. Jerry Orbach's character had a drinking problem.
Okay,
that became a major plot. Spoilers. It became a major plot point, in Law and Order at the very ending episode of a season.
Okay.
Without giving any specifics away, it was a big deal.
Trauma as being an acceptable part.
Yeah.
Whereas the only time you really saw that in the 70s was after school specials. Was Daddy Dearest, shit like that.
Big point.
Yeah, big point stuff.
I'm gonna make a statement.
Yeah,
about
gather
something.
the family round. Yeah, this is important.
Yeah, very special episode of fill in the blank.
The other thing only other time I remember it from the 70s, again having watched a bunch of reruns, I wasn't around that much. Was at the end of that happens in '84. Never mind. I was gonna say the end of MASH.
Oh, yeah.
Where Hawkeye is dealing with it through the majority of that episode. But in all fairness, that was in '84. So
that was in '84. Yeah. And by the '80s, there was a shift in the public's perception and the Zeitgeist portrayal and perception of, lingering kind of emotional trauma and exhaustion, that kind of stuff. Yeah. That was when we really started seeing... combat stress, PTSD.
I mean, you had the movie Rambo.
Starting to be.
You're right.
Like treated as a serious issue,
as a legitimate plot point,
as a legitimate kind of plot point, as a legitimate kind of thing.
Yeah. So that occurs after the Conestogas in space, but that occurs absolutely as bedrock.
Absolutely as part of what paved the way for the way the new series dealt with stuff.
Right.
And
pleased to continue.
And so along with all of that tonal stuff, there was an overt level on which the new show mirrored the headlines of the time in which it was happening. And the biggest one of those, or the biggest source of those headlines, would be a better way to put it, is the global war on terror. And so now we gotta get into real world history for a second.
Okay.
So September 11th, the hijackers perpetrated September 11th the attacks on the Twin Towers and the Pentagon.
All of whom were from Iraq? No. Afghanistan? No. Yemen? No.
Saudi Arabia?
No. They're our friends. Must have been Iran.
No.
No?
No, it was Saudi Arabia.
It
was Saudi Arabia.
Maybe it was a shithole country.
It was Saudi Arabia.
No, it was...
Still Saudi Arabia.
No.
I mean, they played everything in gold, but
they paid us. Real. It's fine. We have mercenaries. No, it was from
Saudi Arabia.
Mexicans coming across the border.
Saudi Arabia.
I don't understand why you keep saying the country of
Saud's people.
I don't...
Saudi Arabia. They came... The home of Wahhabism.
Potato. Fine.
Yeah, okay.
We'll agree to disagree. You're going to say
yeah.
it came from Saudi Arabia just because you have facts on your side.
Yes.
And that's fine,
because
but facts
I do.
have a liberal
And
bias.
this is a podcast where they goddamn matter.
Okay.
God damn it.
Okay, fine. So
anyway.
Like Saudi Arabia is the name of a country.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Well, you know what it really actually is a whole bunch of oil companies in a trench coat. I mean,
Really good.
So, I mean, if we're really being blunt about it, let's be honest about it. But so in the wake of that,
yes,
the financing and the planning and the support of all of that had come from an organization that, like, none of us in the general public had heard about before that event.
Right.
Al-Qaeda, the base, meaning base of the pillar, base of the building, base of the base. Slap the base, baby.
I was just thinking in terms of, is there anybody else that's talking about the base lately?
Well,
it's fine. It's fine.
There's
no parallels.
There's no reason we need to be worried about that at all. No.
It's not like they murdered journalists.
No. Again,
another plot point.
Saudi Arabia,
What?
and another plot point, but post facto, like, I don't know what the word would be for that, but so the financing came from Al-Qaeda, which before the 9/11 attacks, none of us had heard of,
Right.
and all of a sudden they were everywhere.
Now, Al-Qaeda was actually based, though, at that time in Afghanistan, correct?
Yes. Al-Qaeda was based in Afghanistan because
they got kicked out.
Because they got kicked out of Saudi Arabia, to be fair. They got kicked out of Saudi Arabia because bin Laden and the people around him, his followers, his soldiers, whatever you want to call them, the people within the Al-Qaeda organization were batshit crazy fundamentalists, and
their chief objection was that Saudi Arabia had homed the American soldiers.
Yes, that we had bases in Riyadh, that we have maintained bases in Riyadh for forever. All over Saudi Arabia, we've got installations, we got people there because we have had this friendly relationship with them since, like, the foundation of the country, in the wake of World War II.
Right.
And so their biggest issue was that Saudi Arabia is the nation in which Mecca is located.
Medina, three holy sites.
Yeah. And so it is the idea that infidel soldiers are being quartered in the homeland of the faith that drove them to want to do this stuff. And so the Saudi government, who needed or feel they need American military help to hold off Iran, who's their major rival in the region. The government basically kicked them out.
Yep.
Exiled them. And so they went to Afghanistan, where in the wake of the Soviet withdrawal, there was no real centralized government as such. It was being run by the Taliban, who we had indirectly armed because we were sending weapons to the Pakistani intelligence services.
Right.
And the Pakistanis liked the Taliban. And so they gave our Stinger missiles to the Taliban to use to shoot down Russian helicopters.
Right.
And have you read Charlie Wilson's War?
No, but I saw Rambo 3. Same thing.
Oh, yeah, same.
Yeah.
Do read Charlie Wilson's War.
Okay.
All flippance aside, because it really is. It's a great read. It's
about that.
Yeah, it's about how one representative from a district in Texas engineered.
Jesus Christ. Can we? Oh, okay. Look, y'all can ban Arkansas from sending us presidents, and we ban Texas. Can we agree on that?
Can we agree?
Just those two.
Just that
for a 50-year moratorium. 48-year. We'll keep it for Who are we kidding?
I don't know.
It's not like we're going to have an election cycle.
I don't know who you're going to be able to.
Oh my God.
To approach with that.
Oh my God.
So anyway, but here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Okay.
Charlie Wilson found out that the Russians were
Eddie Murphy's brother.
Yeah. Yes. No. No. Very white guy.
Oh.
But anyway, he found out that there, he I don't remember the machinations how it wound up happening, but he wound up directly witnessing the refugee camps
Okay.
that were on the Pakistani border with Afghanistan.
Sure.
And he saw the way the Soviets were handling their fiasco in Afghanistan, their attempted invasion.
And a puppet government.
They had installed a puppet. They
had
installed a puppet, Soviet-style socialist government.
Thank goodness.
Authoritarian socialist government.
That's never... Yeah.
No.
Obviously, they learned their lesson from that, and they're never going to try that in another country again.
Ever. No.
Yeah.
No. Certainly nobody in the KGB would carry that with him for the rest of his life, political career, whatever. No. Putin! Sorry.
Well, at least we don't have people in our country that don't feel the same way about the Iraq war and don't blame Iran for everything.
No.
Yeah.
Certainly not.
Yeah.
So, anyway, he decided that we needed to do something because
he saw a
humanitarian crisis. And he found a sympathetic field officer from the CIA. And everybody in the CIA was like, we want to give the Russians a goddamn black eye.
Sure.
Because of all the dirty shit the Russians had pulled in the skullduggery wars of the Cold War up to that point. And the CIA was like, nobody's letting us do our job. Like just please let us do something.
Sure.
And there was essentially an agreement that we can't directly hit one another.
Right.
And so Afghanistan was the perfect opportunity for the CIA to go,
right.
Fuck you.
Right.
And so we funneled Stinger missiles and all this other stuff.
Sure.
Mostly the Stingers were the big deal. Because
those could shoot down the helicopters.
Yes.
And they were mobile as fuck.
Yeah. Well, they were man-portable. You could train a guy to use one in 8 hours.
Yeah.
And they were relatively inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
And so we sent a ton of them over there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pakistani intelligence service was our go-between. We sent the weapons to them. They got the weapons into the hands of the Taliban. The Taliban blew the crap out of the Soviet army.
Taliban also called forth what's it called?
Fatwa?
Yes. And brought in a group called the Mujahideen.
Well, no, the Mujahideen was the term for anybody who was fighting against the infidels.
And that included immigrants from Saudi Arabia.
That included all kinds of guys from Saudi Arabia, all kinds of guys from all over the Muslim world.
Yes.
Because they said this is the godless atheist Soviets.
And we were absolutely down for them saying that.
We were totally down for them saying that. And the thing was, we didn't really pay a lot of attention to who it was who was getting the lion's share of, because there were multiple factions.
Right.
The Taliban was one, and the Northern Alliance, or the guys that later turned into the Northern Alliance, was another one. And there were a whole bunch of groups that were doing it. But the Pakistanis really liked the Taliban. Mm-hmm. And so they funneled the majority of the stuff to the Taliban.
I just want to come back to the Mujahideen for just a second.
Okay.
So, unless I'm stealing your thunder from...
No.
So, the Mujahideen... so, they called out the fatwa. Mujahideen come from places like Sudan, Ethiopia,
Yemen,
Saudi Arabia, Yemen,
Saudi Arabia...
And I bring up Saudi Arabia specifically because the very rich son of a very rich... I forget what he did. I think construction magnate in Saudi Arabia. His name was Laden. Yeah. Concrete. His son, Osama bin Laden, answered the call, had a kind of spiritual awakening while he was in Beirut, if I recall. Because he had been living as a playboy for a while. And
he had originally been, he'd been living as, the second or third son later son. Baby of the family son of this really wealthy industrialist.
Right. Answered the call.
Well, he found a purpose in life in hearing the fatwa, and became the Muslim version of everybody's most annoying, offensive, late in life convert to born again Christianity, uncle or aunt.
Okay.
In every extended family, you got that one person who found religion and it became their whole personality. They won't pass
the salad dressing until they've told you about Jesus.
Or they insist on, when nobody in the family is that religious, they insist on being the one to bow their head and loudly say grace.
Right.
Like over everybody. So everybody else either has to shut up or be the asshole.
Yeah.
You know, that one only with guns and explosives and a fortune.
Right.
You know.
So he answers the call, ends up in Afghanistan, gets trained specifically by the Pakistani intelligence service, which is being the front for the CIA.
Yeah.
So there's this old thing that an old CIA officer said, of course we know they have weapons of mass destruction, we have the receipts.
Yeah.
Well, of course we know when Osama bin Laden joined up because we trained him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, there's Osama bin Laden, there's the Taliban, the Pakistanis loved him.
And so the thing is, the Soviets left. And Charlie Wilson screamed and hollered and shouted, and the CIA officers that he had been working with, who had funneled all this stuff to drive the Soviets out, screamed and hollered about, now we need to go in and we need to help them rebuild the country. We need to help them rebuild the schools. We need to help them rebuild. They screamed and shouted, and the rest of Congress said, what do we care? It's a shithole country. We kicked out. It's not a Soviet republic anymore. We kicked the Russians out. We did what we need to do. Yeah. We don't have the money to spend on that.
We already came. Why cuddle?
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Pretty much. And
just real quick, Charlie Wilson was a socialist?
No, he was a Republican. No, wait. Sorry, he may have been a Democrat, but he was an '80s Democrat.
There can't be Democrats in Texas. I don't understand. Was he there at like South by Southwest? What was going on?
How the world has changed. So
yes.
Anyway,
we broke it and we didn't buy it.
Yeah, we broke it and we didn't buy it, and then that led to through permutations that led to September 11th, and because that was all, that organization was in Afghanistan at the time, we invaded Afghanistan. Because the Taliban had been giving aid and comfort to Al Qaeda, who had blown up a whole bunch of our people, and so we invaded in like immediately after. So within a month, if I remember right, we had boots on the ground. We were already breaking stuff and killing people
in Afghanistan. Because that made sense.
Because that was logical. We got to find Osama bin Laden and either bring him in or get his head on a stick.
Sure.
And so then in March of 2003...
Now, Afghanistan is a province of Iraq?
No. Afghanistan is its own country along the Silk Road. Has been its own country since time immemorial. I mean, it's been a collection of, warlord little duchies.
Was it where Saddam Hussein had a guest house? No. I don't understand.
There was really no connection at all between Afghanistan and Iraq.
Well, Al Qaeda was in Afghanistan.
Yes.
Has a Q in its name.
Yes, so there you go.
And right, QED.
QED, there you go. Owned me.
Yep. Suck it, liberal tards.
Yeah.
Something.
I
don't know how that works.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So in starting in 2002, the Bush administration shifted the lens of our attention toward Saddam Hussein, and they made the case that he and the Iraqi Ba'ath Party presented a real and present danger, that they were trying to obtain or manufacture chemical, biological, even nuclear weapons.
Again, we had the receipts.
We had the receipts.
Because they used them on the Kurds.
Because, yes. Well, we knew that he had chemical weapons at one time.
Yes.
And the argument that was presented was they're trying to get nukes. There was this whole thing about yellow cake uranium, and all this
centrifuges,
and all this. There was.
But we'd had put in a no-fly zone. There were UN investigators who had been given the runaround a few times, but ultimately they did get to do their investigation. They did
finally get to do their job.
And they found that there were stockpiles and stockpiles of nuclear weapons.
And tons of uranium.
Exactly.
No.
But
we'll get to that.
Okay.
And so using that as the rationale.
Yes.
Using all that information. All those reports as the rationale, Colin Powell got up in front of Congress,
showed his ass,
showed his ass, and they got a use of force resolution to invade Iraq, which they did in March of 2003.
For the sequel.
And we've had U.S. troops on the ground in both countries ever since.
Wait. So
19 years we have had troops on the ground in Afghanistan, going on 19 years.
So Afghanistan could have served itself
as
a soldier.
Yes.
Wait. So I'm thinking of the geography.
Yeah.
Iraq, largely Shia population.
Yes.
Sunnis in charge.
Yes, minority government. Minority dictatorial government.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our allies
at the time we
up
invaded.
until they up through their attack on a Shia government right next door, the Iranians. They were allies that whole time. From 1980 to 1988.
Yeah.
Then they turned south and attacked Kuwait for side drilling, and we said no.
Yeah.
And then we attacked them.
Yeah.
Had a coalition of the willing.
Yeah.
Wasn't called that at the time, but it was a much larger coalition the first time around.
Yeah.
Always is.
Yeah.
Second time around, re-invaded Iraq, but this time also invaded Afghanistan.
Well, okay.
Which is on the other side of Iran.
Okay.
I would just like to highlight the fact that we for 19 years have had troops on literally either side of Iran.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure there's no connection there to what's going on.
Here's the deal. Ever since, off the top of my head, I don't remember the year. But
53.
Ever since, well, I'm talking about the revolution.
79.
Ever since 79,
Yeah.
everything we have as a nation, everything we have done in the Middle East has had Iran, like in the back, at the very least in the background of our planning, of our consideration, because they had the unmitigated audacity to throw out the guy that we had, or the son of the guy that we had installed.
Yeah.
And they took a bunch of our people hostage and, all of that. And it was this horrible blow to our pride right on the tail end of having taken the whack to our pride that was the losing Vietnam. And so what I'm saying
which
is,
was a war in South Asia, Southeast Asia. It's totally different than Central Asia. But Southeast Asia that went on for damn near 20 years, depending on how you measure it.
Pretty much.
Glad
History
we learned.
rhymes. History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
So the invasion of Afghanistan wound up going the way every invasion of Afghanistan has ever gone.
Oh, cool. We won. Sweet.
No.
Oh.
No. All the way back to the fucking Romans. Alexander...
I was going to say.
Before the Romans even.
Yeah.
Alexander.
Yeah.
Conquered it.
Hey,
air
cool.
quotes.
See?
Air quotes
See?
around conquer.
Oh.
And then basically said, you know what? We're just gonna, we've got territory on either side. We're just gonna kind of pass through and fuck off. Because every time we actually try to impose hegemony over these people, they get hyper violent, terrifying, like, oh my God. And I want to point out that's Alexander the Great. And so we can't blame, this is one of those cases where we cannot blame a religion.
Right.
Because the religion we might want to blame didn't exist yet. This is just, that's Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And so Alexander couldn't make it work. The Romans went in, succeeded.
Of course.
We have captured your capital, and then couldn't hold on to it, and got shellacked and had to leave. I don't know. I haven't studied Islamic military history enough to know which Sassanids or Afavids or which caliphate probably tried to conquer it.
Right.
They may have had a little bit more luck through the power of conversion and shared ideology, but they still couldn't actually get them to behave and be a unified nation.
Right.
And anybody and then of course the most modern example before the Soviets is the British Empire, who had conquered India.
Yes.
And Afghanistan was on the border of the Raj of India.
Right.
And so raiders coming out of Afghanistan were causing trouble in the British territories in what is now Pakistan. So the British Army went, right then, we'll bloody well show you, rotters. marched in with all the discipline of the Thin Red Line, and failed repeatedly, miserably, and ugly. And so everybody goes in thinking, well, they're tribesmen. Like,
right.
What are they going to do? Throw rocks? Yes, they are. And they're also just going to let you know that they don't want you here, and that means they're going to kill you at every opportunity until you fucking leave. And the thing is, the shame of it is that before the Soviet invasion, Afghanistan had a modern, what the CIA World Book would have referred to as Second World, because they weren't allied to us, but they were a modern, industrialized, secular government that was, liberal, Western liberal enough that the Soviets considered him a threat and invaded again, or in the sense of somebody else invading them, and then blew all of that up and basically reset the clock in Afghanistan back to the 1600s.
Right.
And then we decided, well, we're going to fix that.
Right.
And no. And so our leadership, we found ourselves fighting a long, slogging fight against dug-in insurrectionists.
Right.
People who were fanatical because we're invading their country, so they're motivated to begin with, plus they, in many cases, have the ideas of Wahhabism or some other serious religious fundamentalist religious ideas about anybody who doesn't agree with them is going to hell, so they're justified in
send
doing
them that quicker.
Send them there quicker, and so it was going to be this. We're going to go in. We're going to bomb the crap out of them. We're going to punish them for what they did. We're going to get Osama bin Laden. We're going to get out.
Right.
And we haven't left yet. And it's 20 years later.
Hello, Geek Timers. This is producer George, interrupting this podcast to let you know that we have space available. This space could be used to promote your product, book, event, group, even wish a special someone happy birthday. If you're interested in using this space, please contact us on Twitter via private message @GeekHistoryTime.
First of Afghanistan, which, okay, that made sense.
Sure.
And then Iraq, which they sold to us in a way that made sense. But a year after invading, like right before the TV show started, we basically found out that the whole war had been started based on bullshit.
Right.
That no, there hadn't been a meaningful nuclear weapons program. We found no evidence. There were no weapons of mass destruction. He had, in fact, gotten rid of... He was not lying when he said he'd gotten rid of the stockpiles of chemical weapons that we had been, convinced he had. And so now we're stuck with a you break it, you bought it Pottery Barn war, to quote, paraphrase Colin Powell.
Right.
Because now we're there and we can't leave because we got a whole lot of people who helped us out who are going to be murdered if we do. And we have a responsibility to try to help rebuild the country. While we're trying to rebuild the country, we have a whole bunch of people in the country who are undermining our ability to rebuild the country because they want us just to fucking leave.
Right. And if we can make it uncomfortable enough for you to leave,
you'll just leave. And if it
takes 1,000 years, you'll still leave.
You'll still leave.
Which, by the way, when there was a guy captured, it was a Viet Cong operative captured by a South Vietnamese government, police soldier.
Yeah.
Interrogated by our intelligence in I forget what branch of the military.
DIA.
Yeah. Okay.
Army. Well, yeah, DIA, probably Army.
Probably. He's interrogating the guy. He says, "Who is winning this war?" And the Viet Cong guy says, "Without a doubt." And he says, "You are." "Who is going to win this war?" "We are."
Yeah.
"Why?" because you'll leave. And if it takes 1,000 years, you'll leave. And if it takes 1,000,000 lives a year, you'll leave. That was Vietnam. Now, luckily in Afghanistan, they have a different sensibility.
Do they?
Oh, no. Quite the opposite.
No, quite the opposite.
Yeah.
So we find out that this invasion, this war, is pointless.
Right.
There's no reason. There's no meaningful reason for us to be in Iraq, or no compelling, meaningful reason. I mean, I'm enough of a crusader at heart that, like, Saddam Hussein was a bad guy. Fuck Saddam Hussein.
Yes.
But when balanced against the number of lives that cost, that's
Never mind.
That's not legitimate, even to me.
Yes.
Wanting to punch Saddam in the face on like Cap punching Hitler.
Yeah.
On the top of
I get it. Petty Tin Pot dictator shouldn't be. He gassed his own people.
Yeah.
Like I cannot overstate enough how evil this guy was.
Oh yeah, no. He is.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church, generally speaking, does not ever talk about who is in hell. We cannot know who is in hell.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, Saddam Hussein is in fucking hell. I say that as a devout,
South Park
believing
fan.
Catholic.
Oh, okay.
He's in hell. Well, yeah, I mean, we have evidence from,
the documentary.
From the documentary.
Colorado.
Yeah. But
I guess what I'm pointing out, though, is, John Quincy Adams flat out said,
yeah,
we're good about freedom, but we shouldn't impose it on others. I'm absolutely paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
It's a meaningful. It is an important philosophy to keep in mind.
Yes.
And so we have all of this going on, and then you look at the elements within BSG, within the new series. And the first one I want to point out, and this is a spoiler alert. So at the end of the first season,
yes,
the colonists find a habitable planet.
Yes.
It's arid. It's there's no appreciable plant life that you can see. It's a dirt ball,
right,
but it's a habitable planet.
Right. And
they land, and they're like, "All right, we can stop running." They think they've gotten away.
We found home.
And then you have a title card 1 year later.
Right.
And the Cylons jump in and have them surrounded. And all of a sudden, the Cylons are in charge. And the beginning of the second season was a direct, like you could not miss it, allegory for the Iraq War, with the Cylons playing the part of U.S. troops.
I need to go rewatch this because I've always had a policy of I never watch anything when it comes out because I want to binge. Because I learned my lesson from a few shows.
Yeah.
But what I'm missing is the historical context of the time. So yeah, I need to go. I need to go look at this.
It was a holy shit. They went there. Like watching this with my best friend and his wife. Sitting on their couch watching this at week by week as the episodes came out. That season premiere for season 2 was literally feet up off the floor.
Wow.
Holy shit. Like we couldn't believe they were doing it.
Right. Is that when Gaeta becomes a civil servant?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Gaeta first gets seduced into working for Baltar as president. Baltar runs against
oh god, what's her name?
Oh god.
The president.
Roslin.
Thank you.
Laura Roslin. Baltar runs against Laura Roslin and wins on a platform of we're not going anywhere. We're gonna stay here.
Sure.
We're not running anymore. We don't need to run anymore. Nobody wants to run anymore. Laura Roslin is a paranoiac. We don't need to run.
Right. Wait. What was the name of their old planet, or the new place that they were looking for?
Earth.
Oh, it was.
They were trying to get to Earth.
Well, did they know that?
They were looking for They were looking for. They were looking for Earth.
Okay, but where did they come from?
Caprica.
So he's trying to make Caprica great again, and he's running against an eminently qualified woman with experience.
Yeah,
and he
wins. He's got a certain dark charisma.
Oh, okay. So it's
and yeah. No parallel whatever to anything that's happened.
Well, at least he's not like a sexual deviant who's like...
We're gonna get to that.
Oh, okay.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, so...
wait, okay, I want to go back to Gata because in defense of Gata, he was working for the civil government. He's no longer needed to be a comms officer.
He was a member of the bridge crew.
Yes.
He listened to everything that Baltar was saying. He became a true believer in Baltar.
I didn't get that when I watched it. I did not see him being a true believer. I saw him being a true believer in staying, but not a true believer in Baltar.
He was a true believer in staying. He was a true believer in Baltar.
I believe you. I just missed it.
Or at least that was the way it looked to me and the people I was watching.
Because I thought he got done dirty in that show.
He did.
Yes.
There's no getting around it. So he does this and then winds up finding out that somehow, if I'm remembering it right, if he finds out that Baltar isn't just the puppet president of the Cylon overlords,
right?
But he is actively like a traitor.
Okay.
Like he doesn't find out all the stuff that.
Could you imagine
Baltar, if that happened? Yeah. Wow. There'd be riots in the streets. And he realizes.
Well, we wouldn't let that happen. We have three
never,
branches.
Never. We've got
meant to balance out the powers. Exactly. And governance over party.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And so everybody understands, as we were recording this earlier today, Adam Schiff gave his closing statements to the Senate in the impeachment trial of our 45th president. So that's the reason for the cynical, bitter edge.
Well, so much for this being a timeless episode.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, because that's what killed it right there. Yeah, totally. Because I just dated it right there.
I would like to point out that also Chuck Schumer entered an amendment, was shot down, entered another amendment, was shot down. Kept doing it so that he could get them on recording as being...
On record as being partisan.
As like they until they vote that they can change the records, which that's not going to happen for a week. But just point out. Yeah.
So the brief shining moment, we're going to have proof.
Yeah.
So
Baltar is a traitor to his country.
Baltar is working as an active tool of and Baltar rationalizes it to himself as, I'm doing this so more people don't wind up getting killed. I'm acting as an agent of them because I'm trying to act as a buffer. I mean, he gives all
which
of these,
is compelling.
It really is, and he manages to give all of these arguments in a way that you really believe that he believes them as he's saying them.
Right.
And then he goes and he does something that is so completely cowardly and self-serving that you're like, you're doing this to cover your own ass.
And see, I thought it was he had a moment of I need to do the right thing, and then he just wasn't strong enough to do it.
Well,
I always just saw it as he was a failure.
That's it's both.
Yeah,
that's part of what was, and I'm going to get to Baltar specifically as a character in a second. But so just to give the direct, like, I can't believe they did that parallels, the colonial resistance against the Cylons. Which is made up, by the way, of former military veterans who had been the crew of the Galactica before all of this happened.
I see what your
kind
point
of
is.
like the resistance in Iraq.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
They adopted suicide bomber tactics.
That's true.
They blew up, specifically blowing up a police academy graduation.
Oh my God, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colonel Ty.
Yep.
The stone cold badass out of the entire series,
whom I hated up until this point.
Who was a prick right up until this point. I mean, he stayed a prick, but
now he's our prick.
Now he's our prick. Winds up, he's tortured because
loses an eye.
Loses an eye. Wears an eye patch for the rest of the series. And so, I mean, it was...
That's right, they're turning over the dog dish.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And by the way, they're working...
What I was going to say was, Gata, without revealing his identity to the Resistance, realizes that Baltar is a traitor, becomes a double agent.
Yep.
Which then, later on, after they get off of the planet, it
matters.
turns into a huge plot point.
Yes.
When Baltar winds up getting put on trial.
Yes.
And Gata winds up getting put in a position where he has to reveal that he was the one who was the double agent, and everybody has this like, oh wait, oh shit, you were moment, because they've been shitting on him.
Yeah.
Constantly, because he was a lickspittle of Baltar's.
Right.
And so he has this moment of vindication.
Mm-hmm.
And then he still winds up carrying this mat-on. I mean, reasonably, he carries a mat-on for another 2 seasons against Laura Roslin.
Because he lost his leg.
Adama. And then he has the wonderful line when he and the original Apollo, I don't remember his character's name off the top of my head in the new series, but the vice president slimeball politician, they're both about to be...
The resistance guy.
Yeah, they were both about to be shot through a catapult, airlocked through a Viper catapult. And the resistance leader just turns into a sobbing wreck, pleading for mercy, and Gata just looks at him and goes, "Oh, shut up and die like a man."
Yes.
Or some words to that effect.
Yes.
And that was the moment at which, because I had hated Gata for a while.
Really?
Up until that point, he bugged the shit out of me, because to me, a lot of his ethos was, and this is going to sound funny coming from me, but it was so immensely purist and self-righteous. Because we're dealing with a milieu in which nobody gets to make an easy choice, like ever.
Right.
There is never a morally white choice.
Okay.
It's all shades from dove to charcoal to ebony black.
Right.
There is no choice you're going to make as a leader
sure.
that's not going to have some moral fallout. And Gata turned into this character who was so embittered and could not give anybody credit for trying to do the right thing.
I get you having a problem with that, because ultimately he doesn't recognize the possibility of redemption, and that's big for you. As self-righteous as you want to get, you care about redemption.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. By the way, Tom Zarek, that was a dude.
Oh, yeah, Zarek.
Which I always loved because he played Apollo
in the original series.
Z.
Oh, yeah, beginning and the end. Oh,
yep.
Nice. Oh, that's...
I
never... Yeah. Never had spotted that before, but... That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he, oh my God, Hatch played that character so well.
Yes, he did.
He was, you could totally see why it was that everybody bought into him. And as the audience, knowing what was going on behind the scenes, you were like, you fucking snake. Like, one of those figures that you truly, truly loved to hate.
Yes.
It was absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And so we have these direct, in season 2, we have these direct, like, not even allegory. Like no, we're recasting this in space, and this is what is happening on the ground in Iraq in space. And by the way, the Cylons may kind of sort of have a point, but they're the bad guys, and that's us. And the good guys aren't the good guys, because they're doing deeply morally not even ambiguous, like
they're murdering
shit. They're murdering other humans in order to break the Cylon hegemony, and
another thing I'd like to point out, though, also, just because I am who I am, I really liked that the Resistance in a large part was led by a union. You remember, it was the chief petty officers and the enlisted men.
Yeah.
The fix-it guys, the techs.
Yeah.
What's her name's husband?
Yeah.
For loving this show as much as we do, we
can't remember any names very well.
But the chief who fixed everything, who turned out to be a Cylon.
Kelly Henderson.
Kelly. and her husband. But he was a Union leader.
Yeah. Yeah, they formed. It was a huge
and they
plot
formed
point
the
when
resistance.
They formed the Union.
Yes.
Chief
Yeah.
Galen, by the way.
Chief who?
Galen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, see, here's the thing. There was a character who was utterly morally upright in the series, who was my. He was the dude I looked at and was like, okay, he's my guy.
Okay.
Hilo.
Yes.
Hilo was the one character on the show.
It's true.
Who managed to maintain a level of consistent honor, moral rectitude. Like if there was, and the thing was, he did wind up doing things that were not 100% lily white, totally pure, but he never went to the depths that other characters wound up doing. There was always a line he would not cross.
Yep.
And when he got close to that line, it was for really compelling reasons. And I was kind of disappointed he didn't wind up getting more time, more
screen time.
More screen time, and his role in the end of everything wasn't more pivotal.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And part of the reason that bothered me was because I want to get to this too. There was this also part of the Zeitgeist, because this was also the same time that Lost was on the air.
Yes, it was.
And both of them wound up turning into these weird post-apocalyptic spiritualist mysticism kind of things.
Do you think some of that's because there was a writer's strike and then the writers just had the nihilism of their strike kind of being...
I think
not that they weren't correct, by the way. The writers deserved royalty rights on DVDs
rights. Yeah.
And on streaming.
Yeah.
They deserved that.
Yeah.
They weren't getting that. They struck so that they could get that.
Yeah.
That's what ruined Lost and Heroes and added this element. I think perhaps...
I don't think... Okay, here's the thing. Based on what we know from people who've talked about the writing of the show from the beginning, part of the point was going to be that the humans... were, from the beginning, polytheistic, worshipping essentially the Roman gods, Greek gods.
Right.
And the Cylons, from the very beginning, although we didn't really see it until late season 1, beginning of season 2, they were monotheists, and they were...
Very true.
And they were... Several of them were religious fanatics.
Yes.
And that was a big part of their motivation.
Yes.
For starting the war against the colonies and for everything and for why they felt they had to hunt humanity down.
Right.
And it was all, the one and God,
Yeah.
And it ties in also with the fact that another huge difference between the two series is in the original series, all of the Cylons, every model of Cylon, and there's only like 4 in the original series, but you have the brain bot who had the teardrop shaped kind of head with all the lights in the top.
Okay. Yeah.
You had them. You had the Cylon Centurions with the
famous one,
the really famous one,
the one that sang Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, and awful. And actually, you might not have even had more than those. But you had the Centurions, you had the brain bots.
Right.
There may have been others, but we didn't really see very many more. They were all robots. It was really clear they were all robots.
Right.
And in the original series, well, I'll get into the original Baltar versus New Baltar in a second. But first I want to talk about the Cylons. In the new series, the Cylons... there are multiple models of Cylon that are played by human actors without any kind of a suit. They look human. They bleed. That's cannot tell if one of them is a human or a Cylon without doing like a microscopic
which he
test.
He gets it right the first time.
Yeah.
And it scares him.
Yeah.
But he gets it right on a Cylon who doesn't know she's a Cylon.
Yes.
Like there's all kinds of really fucked up levels to that.
Yeah.
And you're going to get to that.
There are sleeper Cylons
right.
who have been planted forever before and are specifically programmed to be sleepers.
Right.
The one that tries to kill Adama.
Right.
And then we find out in late season 3 or season 4 that no, there are 5, the final 5.
Final 5.
The final 5 who are apparently immortal.
Well,
have been living amongst humanity for like forever.
Right.
Forgot that they were Cylons, and they all get called together by the Watchtower, and it's this big reveal. And this was the moment where Saltai became my number 2 guy on the show. They all look at each other and they have this moment of realization that, oh my God, we're all Cylons. What are we going to do? And the klaxon goes off, and they're under attack. And Ty looks at all of them and says, I'm a colonial officer.
Yeah.
And he goes back and he does his job.
Yep.
And I know who I am. And what I just found out doesn't change who I am.
Sure.
And that was this one moment, this one really powerful moment of maybe not moral certainty, but certainty of identity, existential certainty, where you clearly don't know who's a Cylon. Nobody can know if they are a Cylon until something happens, and they lose control of their body because their hidden programming takes over.
There are some things I would like to just kind of delve into on that just a little bit. Number one, when you have Cylons who are essentially immortal, what you really have is you have reincarnation.
Yes.
Which I find very fascinating because they get to carry their consciousness with them and they're guiding each other through it. And so there's a communal reincarnation, which I would like some explanation, please, since you said that they're monotheistic and fanatic, and yet you have that. Now, it could be that you're pulling multiple things, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But the other thing I would also like to point out is just the idea that what you said with Saul. First off, his name is Saul.
Saltai. Yes.
Okay, just pointing it out.
Throwing that out there.
As the atheist in the room with a Catholic and
Saul of Tarsus.
Yeah. But I find that interesting.
Fell off his donkey and landed on his ass.
And then decides who he's going to be.
Yes.
And by the way, missing an eye, made to go blind.
Good point.
There's a lot of that shit going on with him.
Oh, well, there's a lot of that shit going on everywhere.
But he used to be loyal to one brand, and now he's like, no, I'm choosing this.
Yes.
He used to persecute his own, and now... So there's a lot of that kind of stuff. But I would like some digging deeper on, like you said,
the reincarnation.
Yeah.
Okay, so they refer all the time to God. They refer all the time to the One.
Right. Which is almost heretical and stupid sounding to the humans.
Oh yeah, well, to the Capricorns and,
right.
and the colonists.
Except when Baltar goes all culty and looks like Jesus. Or Charlie Manson.
We could spend a 2-part episode just talking about fucking Baltar. Because
can I compare him to CM Punk?
Sure.
Because I could.
Because I'm sure, I have no doubt. No, the thing is, the reincarnation thing, at least for all of the other models of Cylon, the final 5 are never really explained. The final 5, we've never seen any other Cylon that looks like them.
Didn't one of them mention that they'd been boxed up or something?
They
boxed Lucy Lawless's character.
Yeah. But they had to take her out of storage. Or no, they wound up put her in storage.
They put her into
storage, yeah.
Yeah.
Because she went bat nuts.
Yeah.
And Ziggy, or not Ziggy. Yeah. Admiral, what's his name from Quantum Leap?
Yeah. The guy who always had Ziggy.
Yeah, he wound up practically starting a civil war amongst the Cylons.
Yes.
Because he started lobotomizing warriors. Because warriors realized, everybody realized, hey, wait, there's Cylons. The final 5 are over there.
Right.
We don't want to fight them, and he ordered that the Raiders and Centurions be lobotomized so they would keep fighting.
Yes.
Which is, how's that for some sectarian conflict going on there?
Yeah.
But the reincarnation thing, you remember there was a big plot point that when one of the Cylons died, their consciousness was literally uploaded.
Yes.
To a satellite.
Right.
Which then put their consciousness into another body.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think what you said about just pulling stuff from multiple sources. Mm-hmm. Monotheism is not necessarily incompatible with the idea of reincarnation of individual consciousness.
Oh, I suppose you're right. Yeah.
We
also you get a bodily resurrection.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
So in the West, we associate it with Buddhism, Hinduism,
right,
and not with Zoroastrianism, Christianity, Judaism.
I retract my question because that answers it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I already talked about in the first episode. We talked about Adama originally in the first series being an unquestioned patriarch, a Moses figure, and in the new series there are multiple coup attempts. Adama is constantly having to deal with people questioning his decisions, and the father-son dynamic between him and Apollo is a whole lot more nuanced. In the original series, Apollo is the good son who just does whatever he gets told, and he's the faithful heir. Whereas in the new one, their relationship is deeply strained at the beginning of the series. It improves over time.
Takes a huge dip.
Takes a huge dip, and it is a realistic kind of relationship.
Realistic for that period of time. Because you have, at that period of time, you have young men going off to fight in Iraq, and their parents saying, "This is stupid. Why are you doing this?" Like, there were plenty of families where that
where there was that kind of...
Hell, I know one that I'm very close to where that happened.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that was a plot point in a lot of things.
Yeah.
The underlying tension that nobody acknowledged at the time was... You have no economic prospects. This is a good way to get to college.
Yeah.
So really fucked up Hunger Games. But
really.
But what do you call it? So you have a grittiest version possible because it is the 2000s.
Oh yeah. Well, and the last thing I want to say about Adama here, since we already talked about a whole bunch of it, what's important to point out here is in the very first episode, he pulls this prophecy out. And he talks about Earth. And we have information on how we can hunt for and how we can get to Earth. And he forces everybody to chant along with him. No, we're all going to survive. You're all going to say this.
Yep.
And he straight up fucking lies.
Yes.
He doesn't know any of it.
Nope.
But unless he gives everybody something to believe in, everybody's going to collapse. Everybody's going to die. Humanity ceases to exist.
Oh my God. How fucked up is our world that's an idealized version?
Yeah.
When there's
kidding.
like that's actually better than that's the better side of the mirror.
That's the more morally okay. This is I understand why you did
this is how you lie to the people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they find Earth. They do find Earth, only to find out the original Cylons had been wiped out by a rebellion of their own creations millions of years previously in a nuclear holocaust. All of this has happened before, and all of this will happen again, is the tagline for the series.
Right.
The final 5 wind up becoming a link between the Cylons and humanity. Forgot they were Cylons before. Again, somehow immortal. And
one of them kills the other.
Yeah.
Strangles her.
Yeah.
And she had been sleeping with Baltar.
Yeah.
It gets weird.
I mean, it's bizarre. So, and now I want to go back to Baltar for just a minute.
Please do.
Because in the original series, Baltar was straight up a villain. He was a traitor.
Yeah.
Who had sold the colonies out for his own power.
Yeah.
His own elevation, his own survival. And he kind of became sort of a leader of the Cylon forces.
He's a usurper.
He's like a usurper.
But a out and out usurper, not a venal cur
not a venal
who does that
chicken
because
who
that's
does
the
it
next
because,
thing to keep him alive. Yeah.
In the new series,
Mm-hmm.
Baltar sold the colonies out to get
sex.
laid.
Yeah.
Got seduced.
Accidentally.
Yeah, accidentally.
He was duped.
Yeah, he was duped.
And he's the smartest guy in the world.
He is the smartest guy. Yeah, he's brilliantly intelligent and morally a complete chicken.
I thought he had a psychotic break, and that's what led him to that, though. Now, I might be wrong. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit. But once he realized, oh shit, I caused all this, that was his, was it initiating event? What's it called? Catalyzing inciting event. That was his inciting event to him being a terrible person. Everything after that was him trying to justify to himself that he hadn't done that to humanity. That's what I took it as. It was just his long decline as a person.
I see that interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
I never got that.
Cool.
What I got was that he was the king of moral ambiguity. He was the poster boy for, like, I always have the impulse to do the right thing. I always know what the right thing to do is, and I just never have the courage or the fortitude
yeah.
or the strength, whatever. I always take the easier option.
Right.
Whatever is going to make me happy in the present moment, whatever is going to keep my neck off the chopping block, whatever.
Right.
That is always what he chose. He's the mirror image of Hilo.
Oh.
Hilo is the character who is defined by having an iron moral core.
Yeah.
And Baltar is defined by having no spine. Like, he has no moral core at all.
So Baltar...
You're getting thinking. It scares me. Okay.
Baltar is like the equivalent to a dry drunk who wants to justify that he's never really done anything, but really wants his father's love. And Hilo is the equivalent to a man who fought a war that maybe didn't see it as a good war and gave back his medals.
Yeah. Wow. I hadn't tied that specifically.
I'm reaching a little,
but
only a little,
but not very far.
I would also point out that Geta would be all the rest of us stuck in the middle because he started off decent, dipped into Baltar territory, and then came out as die like a fucking man.
Yeah. a bitter, iron hard shell of what he once was. Yeah. I can see that.
But doing the right thing at the very, very end.
Yeah.
Or at least acting with honor.
Yeah.
But
the specific points about Baltar.
Yeah.
Remember, when you talk about his psychotic break, his inciting episode, whatever. Remember, they planted a Cylon literally in his head.
Yes, they did. She kept him going crazy.
She kept him,
Yeah.
And he's constantly the first season. He's constantly looking timidly over his shoulder, and talking to a Cylon agent who exists only in his head. He's the only one who can see her. Which
fucks him up with other people,
which they play up like brilliantly,
so well.
Like her leaning.
Oh yeah.
Putting her arm around somebody who obviously is not reacting to it at all.
Right.
And she apparently has access to his nervous system and his limbic system.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
there are all those occasions on which she sidles up on him.
Yep.
And puts her hands in places, and you can see him, reacting clearly to nothing.
Yes.
And everybody else in the room is like, Baltar, you okay?
Right.
And yeah, I'm sorry. I had a moment. I'm okay now. And so he's the villain.
Yes.
But at the same time, you can't really hate him. You can despise him.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at him and go, "Oh my God, you weak motherfucker!" But he there is always this sympathetic kind of core. And the deal is, I think all of this moral ambiguity, all of this, we look at Baltar and we identify with Baltar because we were living in a time
where we were
we were weak. All of this can be traced to the fact that we saw that our leaders had lied us into an unnecessary war.
Yeah.
But there was a reason for a separate war. We were fighting at the same time, and still are. We felt besieged. We felt exhausted. We felt like there was no good choice.
Right.
You know, there was no hero.
Okay.
Or if there was a hero, he was a secondary figure who didn't actually who didn't have the command authority to be the one to make the decisions.
So Colin Powell.
Kinda. Yes. And we were angry and we were scared.
Yeah.
And we had
so our protagonists are flawed.
Yeah.
And sometimes drunks.
Yeah.
And our antagonists are very sympathetic.
Yeah.
And so we're living in this very
weird
zone.
Venn diagram kind of place. Yeah. And we felt like the threat we faced was existential.
Yep.
And we felt like there was all this apocalyptic feeling in the air, which, you know, leads to, you know, are we in hell? Are we in purgatory?
Right.
You know, when all of this ends, how you know, and BSG
yeah.
ended with they arrive on our Earth.
Yep.
Millions of, you know, hundreds of thousands of years ago.
Yes.
And we get the idea that they're going to, like, interbreed with the Australopithecines, and that's how modern humans came. I mean, it was weird. And there was this, there was this weird coda. Mm-hmm. You know, I haven't even mentioned Starbuck being an angel.
Yeah.
You know, but that was in there.
That was a thing.
You know, I mean, the character of Starbuck was basically the same character as from the original series, only played by Katie Sackhoff in a much more compelling performance.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love Dirk Benedict to death, but she was better. And so the whole thing ends with this coda of Baltar and his, you know, Cylon in his head walking around a modern set. I want to say New York.
Yeah.
Looking at, you know, so somehow they have survived or been reincarnated. We don't know what. And all of this has happened before, and all of this will happen again, and the Buddhist wheel is somehow our takeaway.
Right.
Like, there's an answer, but it's not really an answer, and everything is going to be okay, sort of.
It's all right. In Lost, you had the Dharma, and you had the 8 trigram, and then it was really just purgatory.
Yeah.
So you go from east to west, whereas in this one, you went from west to east.
Yeah. And so I think what... My ultimate, I guess, thesis, the ultimate, you know, conclusion statement here is that all of these differences boil down to the fact that we didn't know what the fuck was going on. Mm-hmm. And so the story that we turned to for entertainment, for, I don't know, validation is the word that comes to mind. Catharsis reflected all of that through the power of science fiction with these ideas, and that is why I think the reboot of the series, I think is going to be much more compelling forever, because the first series was escapist fiction,
right?
Like beginning to end, that was all it was, and the second series deals with...
It does what sci-fi is supposed to.
Yes, it does what science fiction is really supposed to do.
It's reflective.
Yeah. So, that's my jam. What's your takeaway now that we're at the end of all of it? What do you think?
I think that there's a simpler answer to why it's more compelling. And that's because it was, 20 years later? Mm-hmm. Writing just got better.
All right.
There's a level of that. We didn't actually mention one of my favorite plot points, which is totally fine because. Okay. But it was.
It gives us something to talk about in another episode.
Yeah, true. The gal who played Ensign Rowe comes back. She's the admiral of the other Battlestar.
Oh yeah.
That was much more modern and much better off. And
she was a fascist.
Yes. And so now you see why I love that plot point. Yeah. But they come from their approach to it wasn't, well, they didn't have a civil government with them either. They were all military, so their paradigm just becomes that. And they are the metastasization of a military that is unchecked,
Yeah.
they're Blackwater.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you look at when she shows up, I bet you that's around Fallujah.
Well, I'm going to agree with you in effect, but I think it was after Fallujah because the writing was being done for all of it at the time of Fallujah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
But that is, her showing up.
That's her. That is the genesis of that storyline.
Yes.
You know, which winds up putting Apollo in a position where he's in a position where he has to make a solidly gray moral choice.
Yes, he does.
You know, of his own.
Yeah.
And that's one of those moments where the relationship, like you talked about, the shift in the relationship between him and Adama, that's a really big moment in that
that's
whole
true.
plot line.
That's true.
So yeah, no, that's a good.
Yeah. So I guess my takeaway is that it's like a lot of shows at that time, and like perhaps necessarily at that time, shows didn't end very well. It caught a lot of flack for ending poorly.
Well, so did Lost.
Yes,
and again
so
the writer's
Heroes.
strike.
Yes.
Oh Jesus, Hero. The second season of Heroes.
I'm the only person that liked the final season though. It was cool. There was a carnival. But I would. Here's the thing. I don't think anything back then could end well because nothing was ending.
Okay, that's really profound.
Yeah.
I think
that's
you're right.
my takeaway.
I think
just like this
that makes
podcast.
Sense. I like it. Yeah, just like this episode.
So, but yeah, that's my takeaway. Nothing was ending, and we couldn't end it. So
yeah, no, we didn't know how to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But we do.
We do.
So,
which is to say, what are you reading right now?
Yeah, I just started reading Vector Prime for the 4th time.
Okay.
Vector Prime is the very first book in the Yuuzhan Vong series, and it's a Star Wars series that most Star Wars fans didn't like.
Hi.
Fuck them. I loved it. I loved it.
You're allowed to. That's cool.
And so it's advanced research for...
See, other Star Wars fans? See how easy that was? You're allowed to. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
But in the meantime, fuck them. Star Wars fans, I understand the temptation.
Yeah.
But I really like it. It's I believe it's the book in which the family dog gets killed. It's no longer canon, so we're okay.
Yeah.
But it...
The family dog.
Yeah. But it really is... It's... What I love about it is that even in the very first... I'm seeing... First time I read it, I was half my age now. Okay. I was in my first apartment. I was living... well, not my first apartment, but I was living in Sacramento in my first apartment. I was in my first marriage. I was in college still. I didn't know fuck all. I was enjoying Star Wars. Second time I read it, I was dating my second wife. I was falling madly in love. I was going on spring break with her. I was traveling. It was a wonderful time. And it was a really cool Star Wars book. Third time I read it, I was working out. I was living here. I was still married, but I was trying to lose weight, and this is my reward for trying to lose weight. This time I'm reading it, and I'm noticing, boy, I sure missed a lot of politics the first 3 times. And so now I'm reading it going, wow.
Because it was the remark I made earlier that made it so this podcast isn't going to be timeless.
Yeah.
Because nothing else we've said would have ruined that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're gonna love my analysis of Borsk Fela when I get done with all 19 of these books. But it's going to be a while.
Again.
Yes,
when
again.
you get done with all of them again.
Yes. Yeah. Hopefully I'll be thinner. Because I'm still reading it while I'm working out.
While you're working. Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, but that's what I'm reading. What are you reading?
Okay. I am not reading anything right now.
Ooh, you know what? I have a comic book to recommend.
Ooh, The Republic.
The Republic by a man named Tim Watts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would recommend that.
I will pick it up. The other thing I'm planning on picking up is I have decided I'm going to pick Dune up again.
And you're getting on me?
It'll be a reread. Yeah, what?
Okay.
What? I'm sorry.
No, sure. No,
what?
it's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Fine.
Yeah.
No.
I take too fucking long.
Yeah. Well, I can't speak for Herbert, but yeah. But yeah. So my intent is because the
James
the
Joyce
movie,
in the sand.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm only going to read the first 3 books. I'm not.
Okay.
I just, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe only the first 2 because it gets weird.
Okay, but the movie with William Hurt.
But the movie is going to be, well, there's another one coming out, and I want to kind of prepare for that. Simultaneously at some point I've got it's a big enough work that I have to find some hook to talk about it on here.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm going to get into.
Okay. Where can we find you on social media to argue with you?
You can find me at EH Blaylock on the Twitter machine. Where can we find you?
Well, there's a couple places. You can find me at Harmony on the Twitter, on the Instagram. You can also find us at Geek History, also on the Twitter. So that's where you can find us. Tell us how wrong we are. Tell me what I got wrong about BSG. Correct me on the names of people.
Point out the names that we flubbed, because I'm going to carry some guilt over that, I will admit. If our geopolitics are bass backward, let us know. You'll be wrong, but you can let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for a Geek History of Time, I'm Damian Harmony.
And I'm Ed Blaylock. And until next time, watch out for Cylons.